Good day, learners! Learning TLE in the new normal is learning TLE in a fun way. I'm teacher Adrian from San Luis National High School. Today is the beginning of your journey in TLE 10 Cookery, Quarter 2, Module 4. Make sure that you are comfortable seated and get ready for note-taking. This module is divided into 3 lessons, namely Lesson 1, Techniques in Storing Vegetables, Lesson 2, First In, First Out, and Lesson 3, Safety and Hygienic Practices in the Laboratory Kitchen. Here are the most essential learning competencies. Number 1, store vegetables based on the prescribed location and temperature. Number 2, demonstrate vegetable storage in accordance with first in, first out operating procedures. Follow standard safety and hygiene procedures. In this lesson, the topic is all about techniques in storing vegetables. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to know the different techniques in storing vegetables. Discuss how to store vegetables properly. Store vegetables based on the prescribed location and temperature. So class, are you ready for our discussion? So let us first define what is food storage. Food storage is the process in which both cooked and raw materials are stored in appropriate conditions for future use without any entry or multiplication of microorganisms. Do you know that there are 5 methods in storing vegetables? Number 1, drying. Number 2, canning. Number 3, curing and salting. Number 4, freezing. Number 5, common storage. In common storage, we have in-ground storage, indoor storage, and pits. And also, we have outside stairwells to basement. Let us discuss the 5 methods of storing vegetables and fruit. Number 1 is drying. Drying is one of the oldest ways to preserve product. This can be done by using an oven, a dehydrator, or the warm heat of the sun. Next is canning. A resurgence of interest in canning is taking place as it has become easier with more foolproof methods and good equipment like regular jars, lids, and more reliable and safer pressure cookers. With the pressure cooker method, the product is heated to kill microorganisms that can cause spoilage. This action also deactivates enzymes in the product that affects flavor, texture, and color. Number 3, curing and salting. If certain garden product is allowed to ferment naturally, it is said to have become cured. This means that microorganisms initiate the fermentation process and change the food quality without causing bad taste or generating toxins. Next one is number 4, freezing. This is common and a very desirable way to preserve certain type of garden product. Like other preservation methods, freezing prevents microorganisms from growing, causing spoilage. Common storage. This is the oldest and convenient method used to preserve most of the product generated by our ancestors. This involves storing harvested product in a dark, cold area. There are various ways where this can be done, including leaving the product in the ground, burying it in the ground, in pits, storing in cellars or basements, and storing in wooden crates or barrels located in cool areas like a garage or a porch. Under in common storage, in in-ground storage, some vegetables like carrot, beet, turnip, rutabaga, horseradish, salsify, and parsnips can be left in the ground through the winter. They should either be mulched to prevent the crop from freezing or after the ground has frozen, mulch to keep the crop frozen. Indoor storage. The most convenient place to store fruits and vegetables is inside the home. Typically, a second refrigerator is ideal for many types of product if it is kept between 32 and 40 degrees. Pits. Storing vegetables in an outdoor pit is also a good, but typically inconvenient way to preserve the product. Burying in the earth allows for a controlled atmosphere because soil temperatures do not fluctuate. They remain cool compared to air temperatures. Pits, however, must be well drained and protected from rodents. Outside stairwells to basement can be used if space permits some insulation materials. How to store vegetables in different ways. Different fruits and vegetables should be stored in different ways. In using the refrigerator, A. Products that are kept best in cold, moist storage includes apples, broccoli, carrots, lettuce, and eggplant. B. Products that are kept best in cold, dry storage includes garlic and onions. And letter C. Products that are kept best in warm, dry conditions includes hot peppers, pumpkins, winter squash, and sweet potatoes. In using freezers, almost all fruits and vegetables can be stored in your freezer. Freezing can change the texture of many fruits and vegetables, but it generally preserves their taste, nutrients, and health benefits. It's best to freeze fruits and vegetables in airtight containers. Avoid freezing a product that isn't ripe yet. It may not ripen correctly when you take it out of the freezer. Using a cool, dry storage. Certain types of a product are best left out of your refrigerator and freezer. Instead, they should be stored in cool, dry place. These include tomatoes, bananas, potatoes, lemons, and limes. Now that we are done with lesson 1, answer the following questions. This is for you to apply what you've learned in this lesson. Believe in yourself and you can do it. Are you ready? Here's the directions for activity number 1. Activity 1. Tick the box if the sentence is correct. Use your pad paper for your answers. Number 1. Indoor storage of vegetables. The outside stairwells to basement cannot be used if the space permits some insulation materials like bales of hay. Number 2. Dried product retains the quality and nutritional value found with fresh product. Number 3. Curing and salting is a common method of preserving garden product because of the great change that it makes in the quality and overall taste. Number 4. Parsnips and horseradish do not develop an undesirable bitter taste after a couple frosts. Number 5. Burying in the earth will not allow for a controlled atmosphere because soil temperatures fluctuates. They remain cool compared to air temperatures. Number 6. Drying is the oldest way to preserve or store vegetables. Number 7. Canning can incur added costs with the purchase of equipment, containers, and general supplies. Number 8. Freezing is a common and a very desirable way to preserve certain types of a garden product. Number 9. Some vegetables like carrot, beet, turnip, rutabaga, horseradish, salsify, and parsnips can be left in the ground through the winter. And number 10. The most convenient place to store fruits and vegetables is inside the home. Are you done? Did you answer correctly? Awesome! Just write your score in the top of your paper. Activity number 2. Create a poster slogan showing the importance of proper storing of vegetables. Your output will be rated using the scoring rubric below. So, how did you do? Did you answer correctly? 2 shoulder taps on the left, 2 shoulder taps on the right. High five! What are are the 5 methods of storing vegetables and fruit. Good job! The 5 methods of storing vegetables and fruit, we have number 1, drying, number 2, canning, number 3, curing and salting, number 4, freezing, number 5, common storage. Under in common storage, we have in-ground storage, indoor storage, pits, and outside stairwells to basements. What is the importance of proper storing? Very good. Proper storing of fruits and vegetables is very important since safe storage can keep you from getting sick from a foodborne illness. Fresh fruits and vegetables should be stored unwashed. However, fruits and vegetables that are very dirty after harvest can be rinsed and dried well before storing. Wash them well with cool running water before eating. Are you ready for our next lesson? Before that, let's have first a review. Our topic for this lesson is all about first in, first out. Here are the skills, competencies, and objectives of this lesson. Number 1. Know first in, first out operating procedures in storing vegetables. Identify the do's and don'ts of first in, first out operating procedures in storing vegetables. Number 2. Identify the do's and don'ts of first in, first out operating procedures in storing vegetables. 3. Recognize terms used in, first out operating procedures. And number 4, demonstrate storing vegetables in accordance with first in, first out operating procedures. So let us start. What is FIFO stands for? FIFO stands for first in, first out. It is a stock rotation system used for food storage. First in, first out is a handy way to remember that the food that has been bought in first needs to be consumed first. What are the simple steps for following the FIFO procedure? There are 5 simple steps for following the first in, first out procedure. Number 1. Always use the products with the closest end dates first. The products reaching the end of their best before dates or use by dates. Number 2. Place the items to be used first in the front of the stock so they are easy to locate. Number 3. Always use the food that is stored at the front first. And number 4, always store new supplies behind existing stock so that this will be used in the correct order. And number 5, check through the stock items to ensure that all food is current, within date, and in good condition. If it has expired or seems to be damaged, remove it and discard it. Food safety tips for storing and rotating product. Storing and rotating food properly ensures that you are always serving food in the freshest and safest way. After you inspect your food delivery, be sure to store frozen foods in the freezer first. Then, refrigerated foods and dry storage items last. Next, noting why a certain food has not been used and asking why it has been omitted. Not overloading refrigerators and freezers. Regularly checking through the stock to ensure that everything is stored in the correct order and that it is in perfect condition. Removing any stock which has deteriorated. Checking through the kitchen stock is much easier to do when the kitchen is quiet. When storing food, keep these temperatures in mind. Frozen foods must maintain a maximum internal temperatures of 0 Fahrenheit or less. Refrigerated foods must maintain a maximum internal temperature of 41 Fahrenheit or less. Dry storage items should be stored between 50 to 70 Fahrenheit. How to rotate food product. First, after you've stored the items, rotate your existing stock using the first in, first out method. Next, the FIFO or the first in, first out method applies to frozen, refrigerated, and dry storage items. Next, identify the expiration date on the food and store items with the earliest expiration date in front of items with later dates. Once on the shelf, use the items stored in front first. To prevent foodborne illness, check expiration dates and storage areas. First, throwing away food that has reached the expiration date is also important in preventing foodborne illness. Next one, floor walls, shelving in coolers, freezers, and dry storage bins, containers, carts, Dallas trays. Benefits of first in, first out include less food wastage, better food saved first in, first out, improve customer satisfaction. First in, first out improves the efficiency of the kitchen. Good first in, first out practice helps menu planning. Now that we are done with lesson 2, let us answer this activity. To start, may I read first the directions. Activity 1. Recognize terms used in first out operating procedures. Directions. Complete the sentences by writing on the lines the correct word or group of words. Write your answers in your paper. First in, first out is especially helpful when there are multiple items of the same. Adhering to specific storage times of common can further aid in maintaining freshness and quality. This is the system and the only way to manage your food storage in the kitchen. The term first in, first out is a handy way to remember that the food that has been bought in first needs to be consumed first. This is so that everything is used when it is at maximum freshness and there are no hidden nasty surprises from using out of date food that may have gone off. Once again, this is Teacher Irene. Stay safe and happy learning.